What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel, The Matrix of Gradelock. Now today we have deck profile for Nemesis Prime. A lot of people have been saying if you're playing Megatron, you should slide into Nemesis Prime. I don't agree with that, just for the fact that I think Nemesis Prime deserves his own build. Nemesis Prime has a lot of cards that you can't really splash into a Megatron deck. So like I said, I honestly feel like Nemesis Prime deserves his own build. This build is basically a turbo engine deck out build, which can make Nemesis Prime be a 10k attacker by turn 3, turn 4, a 13k attacker by turn 5 or 6, and a 16k attacker by turn 9 or turn 10. So this deck is a 40 card deck, 32 blue pips, 5 white pips, 6 green pips, and 6 black pips. Technically, three of them are pipless. There's 17 upgrades and 23 action cards. Now, before we start the video, remember to comment, like, subscribe to our channel for more Transformer TCG content, and let's get on with the deck profile. First card we're going to talk about is Raider Aimless. Raider Aimless is so good in any blue deck. What this card does is basically he has tough 3. So usually he starts on this side, and usually he's the first one to attack. So he does take the first couple attacks, and in this build we actually try to make sure that my opponent attacks him instead of attacking Nemesis Prime, which I'll show you later on in the video. So him with Flame War makes him tough 4, and basically that makes him untouchable wall. Aimless is just taking all the hits. Aimless, unfortunately, only has 3 attack, but it's not that bad. Just the fact that 3 attack I think is pretty good against any orange deck. Against a blue deck, Aimless does absolutely nothing besides be a sponge. Whenever he's KO'd, he turns into this upgrade, Ion Particle Blaster, 3 attack, and whenever the attacker attacks, and if I flip 3 blue pips or more, I can deal 3 damage to the defender. Next we have Flame War. Flame War on this side, she gives all my characters tough 1, pretty standard. But on this side, which we normally don't flip into, but the only time I actually do flip into this side is if she's equipped or Nemesis Prime is equipped with Ion Particle Blaster. Let's say it's on Flame War. So I flip on this side, Flamer gets bold 1. Flamer will attack. So instead of flipping 2 cards, I'm flipping 3 cards, which will guarantee me that this card's effect will actually go off, dealing 3 damage to my opponent. And of course, the MVP, Nemesis Prime. This card is basically a beat stick. What this card does is he gains 3 attack whenever I reshuffle my deck, put the bottom card underneath him, and gets 3+ attack. So, like I said, the main point of this build is to make sure he becomes a 10k attacker early, a 10k attacker, a 13k attacker as fast as possible. On this side, we flip him to deal 2 damage to one of my opponent's characters. Unfortunately, my opponent chooses, not me, which is not that great early game. Late game is amazing, but early game doesn't really do much because usually they put that 2 damage on a character that they want to be KO'd. And God forbid if my opponent is actually playing Battle Masters, I don't want to flip this card at all because I don't want to KO their Battle Master. As for upgrades, we're playing 3 handheld blasters, basically a staple in any blue deck, just for the fact that it's a double blue pip and and it doesn't cost a star. Next we have 3 extra paddings. This card is so good with any blue deck, just for the fact that this card, I honestly think this card is more better than reinforced plating. Unfortunately, yes, you need all 3 of them to actually be a better version than reinforced plating. This card on Nemesis Prime, well, we usually put this upgrade on Nemesis Prime. So let's say all 3 of them are on Nemesis Prime and my opponent has a Bash and Shield. He Bash and Shields 1, that only gets rid of 1, making sure that he keeps tough 2. So extra padding, I honestly think it's great. It's great for the meta, just for the fact that almost every deck, almost every orange deck mains Bash and Shield. So extra padding I think is a must in almost every blue deck. The best part about this card is that it's a green pip. So it's searchable when I'm attacking and searchable when I'm defending. Next we have 3 Scoundrel Blasters. This card is basically a more consistent version of Energon Axe, especially if I'm going up against Autobots. Next we play Reinforced Plating. Basically I'm calling this card the Bash and Shield Decoy. The reason why I call it that is just for the fact that whenever I play Reinforced Plating, it's always the first target for Bash and Shield. Like, my opponent rather play Bash and Shield than play an upgrade that can potentially one-shot kill one of my characters. So let's say, for instance, I have Nemesis Prime and Flame War tapped. I play Reinforced Plating on Flame War, which is my decoy, and it's my opponent's turn. God forbid my opponent actually has a Grenade Launcher and a Supercharge and a Bash and Shield. So whenever I play this card, my opponent rather play Bash and Shield than play Grenade Launcher at times, making them actually do a misplay. when they could potentially one-shot kill Nemesis Prime. But instead, they're going to focus on getting rid of this armor and only playing Supercharge, and instead of playing Supercharge and Grenade Launcher. So like I said, at times I basically treat this card as a Bash and Shield decoy. Next we play one Energon Axe, pretty much a staple in almost every blue deck, but unfortunately I'm only playing one copy just for the fact that this card I can only put on damaged characters. So usually actually I put Energon Axe on Flame War or Aimless. Not all the time I put it on Nemesis Prime. On Nemesis Prime I actually have I have a Scoundrel Blaster. Don't get me wrong, I still think Energon Axe is a phenomenal card, but it's not that consistent like Scoundrel Blaster. Next we're playing Bravery. What this card does is whoever has this equipped as a utility, it gives that character Brave. So let's say for instance, this is my lineup. I only have these two left and my Aimless has Bravery. So no matter what, my opponent has to attack Aimless. Let's say for instance my opponent has a Grenade Launcher or has an Erratic Lightning and they're trying to attack Nemesis Prime, but I have this upgrade on Aimless, and if they can't get rid of this upgrade, they have to attack Aimless first. And usually Aimless actually survives because again, tough 3 with tough 3, and God forbid if I actually do have a Flame War tapped, I'm sorry, if I have Flame War on the field, it's tough 4. So Aimless can take all the huge hits. Again, Aimless is just a sponge. Aimless is there to make my opponent overextend their hand, overextend their plays. Instead of my opponent one-shot killing my other characters, they can potentially one-shot kill Aimless or potentially give Aimless damage. As upgrades, we play 3 Security Consoles. Basically, in every blue deck, you want to play Security Consoles. This card is just too good of a card. In this build, we're not playing no draw engines. We're not playing no draw power. So this card is basically our +1. What the Security Console does is whenever my character is defending, I can draw one card and potentially plan one card. I don't have to plan one. I could just keep the card. So let's say for instance if I do have a double blue pip card in my hand, I can just put it back on top of the deck to make sure that my character gets more defense. But Security Console with this card is so good. Battlefield Report. So what Battlefield Report does is reveal when one of my characters is defending. I reveal it, draw 2 cards, and I have to put back a card on top of the deck. So if I have Battlefield Report on the field and Security Console, you want to activate Security Console first, draw a card first, don't plan one, but then activate Battlefield Report to draw 2 cards, and then you have to put back a card. So these two cards together in one turn, it's a +2. Keep that in mind. Not a +1, not a +3, but a +2. That's a really broken play. A lot of people really underestimate this. Next, we're playing 3 Hiding Spots. This card is so good with Aimless. So what this card does is basically when I set this card as my secret action, when my opponent chooses his attacker, before he chooses who's he attacking, I flip this card, and when I flip this card, I can give one of my characters stealth. So let's say for instance, these are my last 2 characters in the field. I have this as my secret action. They choose their attacker, which is after they equip it with Grenade Launcher or Supercharge. Let's just say my opponent he has Wheeljack, equips it with Grenade Launcher and plays Reckless Charge. So right now their Wheeljack has 12 attack with Bold 3, and they're about to attack Nemesis Prime to one-shot kill it. Then I'll just be like, all right, cool, flip Hiding Spot. I'll give Nemesis Prime stealth, making him only attack Aimless. So my opponent just wasted one of his strongest upgrades and one of his strongest actions to one-shot kill Aimless, which will become an equipment for Nemesis Prime, making sure that Nemesis Prime will live and then one-shot kill that Wheeljack next turn. So Hiding Spot with Aimless is just so good. If you're playing any blue deck that has Aimless, you have to play Hiding Spot. I think Hiding Spot is a phenomenal card. Again, it is pipless. Well, technically, it's not pipless. It has a black pip, which gives Pierce 1. But overall, I think Hiding Spot is just too good of a card with Aimless. Next, we're playing 3 Leap in the Battle. Almost a staple in any blue deck. It gives a 3+ attack. So it helps out Nemesis Prime one-shot kill a character, and it beefs up Flame War and Aimless up to 6 attack. Next, we're playing Security Checkpoint. This is our second free double blue pip card. What this card does is, when I play it, both players reveal their hand and scrap all upgrades. Usually, whenever I play this card, it doesn't backfire, just the fact that I played 23 upgrades. I played 23 battle actions and only 17 upgrades. So my hand usually is not cluttered with upgrades unless I actually search out for the green pip cards. But Security Checkpoint is definitely a must in any blue deck. Next we play Steady Shot. This card is basically a watered down version of Leap into Battle. Also for the fact that it does have that one black pip, so it's Pierce 1. So usually I want to flip this card whenever I'm attacking with a Flame War or Aimless. The bigger they are, pretty much a standard in any deck that plays Flame War and Aimless, just for the fact that, of course, they're the lowest star cost of your characters, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be attacking bigger characters than them. So Leap in the Battle, the bigger they are is definitely a must card in any deck with Flame War. Next we play 2 Vaporize to make sure that I can get rid of scary upgrades. As for example, we want to get rid of Matrix Leadership, get rid of Comet Commands, get rid of W5 Gyro Blaster. Usually I would side in the third Vaporize, but right now at the moment I think 2 Vaporize in this build is actually pretty consistent. 2 Frag Toss. This card is okay. It's not that great. I wish it would be better. So what this card does is, whenever I play this card, my opponent chooses one of his characters and deals 1 damage to it. But if I start out the game with all Decepticons, my opponent deals another damage to it. Like I said, it's an okay card. I wish it was better. Just the fact that my opponent chooses where the damage actually goes to. So if my opponent's playing a Battle Master, this card does absolutely nothing. It's bad. Early game is terrible, mid game it's okay, but late game this card is amazing. Last card I want to talk about is EMP Wave. This card is a star card, so again our team up is 24 stars, so this is our extra star EMP Wave. This card I prefer to play over. I would prefer to play this card over the other star cost double blue pip, which is the armor, which does absolutely nothing. So this card actually does something. What this card does is tap all characters. So this card I rarely use. I mean, I don't see that many situations to actually use this card, but when a situation does come up when I use it, let's say for instance, if my opponent has more characters than me by 2 more characters, I would just play this card to make sure that my characters won't be all out attacked. So that's the deck profile for Nemesis Prime. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please hit the like button. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment down below. I love reading comments. I love replying to your comments. So leave a comment down below and subscribe to that channel for more Transformer TCG content. We're gonna have match videos, deck profiles, box openings, and more. Again, we love Transformer TCG. Like, we have fun playing this card game. So we're definitely gonna have more videos. And yeah. So remember to comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.